you. What should be done to stop doping in Kenya? What should be done to stop doping in Kenya? And speaking of which, kwanza Dan, tuzoneza tupata wapi kwenye WhatsApp lines and also our call line?
Our WhatsApp line and the text line is 0702969969. And if you want to call us live in the studio, the number is 0701969969. And just to add something about that doping issue. And why do athletes like using substances that zimekuwa prohibited by the so-called different federation? Why?
Okay. Let me answer from my different perspective here. Because when I was looking at this list, I think I mentioned to you that kule nyuma, that it was surprising because for the very first time, let me just be honest, I had never seen a rugby player being caught up in such a crisis. But this time around, there were 3 rugby players. That one is Charlton Mokua and Brian Wahinya of KCB. Charlton Mokua of Kenya Harlequins, Brian Wahinya of KCB. And of course, we also had Zeden Maro of also Kenya Harlequins. And there were also some 2 basketball players. Actually, is it 2 or 3? Not really quite sure of the number, but we'll be sampling out the list in a few. One thing I can say about it is cannabinoids is a WADA prohibited substance. It's actually in the WADA list, World Athletics Doping Agency, World Anti-Doping Agency, sorry. So in that particular list that was out, cannabinoids is part of them. Now cannabinoids just derived from cannabis sativa, yamaanisha bangi.
Yes.
So in some way, players how wengine wenye, you know, for the list you'd see a player and you'd see what substance ametumia ndiye akabaniwa. So for these rugby players, together with the together with the basketball players, you'd see cannabinoids, which means it's the other substance. So we were even joking. Just after that list came out, I was seeing in some banter groups, watu wanasema kwamba if these people decide that is ADAK here in Kenya, what decide wapime, basi it means footballers na rugby players wanaweza baki 14.
Kuna footballers pia wengine mokoka too.
And also the same mogoka was banned. And I remember the CEC sports and cultural arts and stuff in Mombasa was actually happy because he said it also tampers big time when it comes to sports. So it was nagging them down. So they were happy huko coast wakati ambapo alikuwa ametoa, because he categorically mentioned the fact that alifurahia sana. Especially kwa wana sport. Lakini hii doping nyingine hii imeleta tashwishi kidogo.
Yesterday I think we were discussing with a friend of mine after game ya Harambee Stars. So we were discussing about the behaviors in athletics wako nazo hapa nje, and surprisingly and let me just say this without fear or whatever inasemwanga, without fear or favor, I know a lot of footballers
wenye wanatumia hiyo kitu.
I know a lot of footballers, yani after game every day pale Mirema uwezi wakosa. Mpaka unakaa unajiuliza, undo player atakutochezea majuu one day one time. So that shows you how even the player themselves, they don't take that sport that they are playing seriously. Unapata?
Yeah.
And nashangaa, yani nasema, you know, in other countries, developed countries, when it comes to sports, you're not even allowed to touch alcohol.
Yeah.
Until the last game.
You must have that.
Maybe that celebration. Even wine, you're not allowed. And that's unapata each and every time those players wanapimwa, because ukipatikana na substance yote kwa mwili yako
inakuwa tough.
Inakuwa tough. Inakuwa tough kwa sababu it affect you are playing. It affect you're playing, whether you're playing football or whether you're playing rugby, it affect, you know. But here in Kenya, together na federation, like I said last week, we're not serious when it comes to sports here in Kenya. And we need to be serious. And also we need somebody who is serious, who will run this sports here
from the top.
From the top. Okay, Ababu is trying, but atuanza kufeel bado ile uzito ya Ababu na Mwamba. Atuanza kufeel whatever he's doing, maybe
he needs to crack the whip.
Yeah, whatever he's doing, maybe tuna kwa social media alikuwa pale rugby nini, you know, hizo ni those are small things. Tutakuna actions,
the inner thing, kule ndani ile
core ndani, unapata. And that's unapata kuna story ya doping, and that's unapata kuna story pia ya how do we call it, tukonaongelea hapa last week yenye wa player wana bet wenyewe kwa wenyewe, match fixing unapata. Those are some of the things zile zinafanya the top huko juu zikibreak you down mpaka hapa chini. Yeah.
And I'd also say in regards to that doping issue, do you know that Dantos just as I said, was it last week or last week but one, pale kwenye notice board, the issue that I even quoted the book of 1 Timothy, that it's clear even from the Bible itself that athletes take the normal way, don't take shortcuts, because at the end of the day you'll be rewarded.
Yeah.
And in these terms, as we are talking of the shortcuts, we are talking of this particular issues like doping. Hizo ni shortcuts, daddy.
Hizo shortcuts.
Yeah, and even the issue of these cannabinoids and stuff, I know most of the people even listening to us, or rather most of the people who are sportsmen outside there, and a huge chunk of them, because I've been there myself, I can testify and say that a huge chunk of them actually abuse these drugs. Na saizi ndio imepatikana wamesema bangi kwamba ni mbaya. For the people who don't understand, that's why we are cracking it down and tunakuvunjia ndio uelewe. The cannabinoids, hiyo ni bangi wanazungumzia. So avoid it, because at the end of the day it's going to be detected.
Yes.
And we are going to suffer, because a player suffers. Yes, they are going to ban you, but they'll ban you for probably like 2 years or rather some wakati wote tu wenye watakuban. But you are the huge stakeholder who is going to miss out, because you are not going to be called to the national team again. Yeah. Most federations actually put it down on paper and they actually said it. Hawakurudi nyuma, walisema warudi nyuma wala waendi mbele, kwamba any athlete who is caught in a saga of match fixing of doping will not be allowed to actually don the national flag, the national colors again.
Yeah.
So
na hivyo inafai kuwe.
Even though inafai kuwe. So let us just be strict and put stern measures when it comes to it. And to you athletes who are actually listening to us today, I'll repeat that avoid shortcuts. Let us have a fair, competitive environment. Work hard.
You want to be an athlete, be an athlete.
Be an athletic. Be an athletic.
Abide by the rule to the latter.
Kabisa.
Yes, just abide by the rules. Wewe ndo umeamua.
Even ndio umeamua.
Kuna rules and regulations za kila game. Even zifuate mpaka mwisho.
No matter what the circumstance.
Yes.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.